What's up everyone and welcome on back to the channel. Weapons is coming out on August 8th and I am so excited for it. And why am I excited for it, you may ask? Well, obviously it's because it's the follow-up to Zach Cregger's Barbarian, but also because I know almost nothing about this movie. The marketing for this movie has been absolutely phenomenal, only giving away vibes and giving more questions than answers, and it is working out so well in this era of spoil absolutely fucking everything you can in the trailer. So I wanted to break down this marketing campaign, what they've done to only give us the basic premise and grow more intrigue about the story, and also how they used old school tactics in this social media age, and how I think it can potentially change every single movie studio. But before we get into all of that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do deep dives on the film and TV industry, so if you're into that, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, but let's get into it. Now, most movies start off with a trailer, a poster, maybe some little online clip to help tease something. But Weapons took things just a little bit differently to start off their campaign, all of which drew mystery rather than told us what the film is actually about. They started off kind of simple and had kind of a long and drawn out plan for this, starting on April 14th, where they just released creepy images on Twitter. Nothing else except the movie title name with it. They drew mystery into this and they drew intrigue. And they kept drawing it out. On April 15th, they released a bunch of clips of just kids running from home. All of these clips had a ton of grain in it. They looked like they were from CCTV footage or security cam footage, or even ring cam footage. I honestly thought these kids were running Naruto style when I first saw it. Like, you see what I'm getting at, right? Like, it's not exactly, but it is close. Now, what was really interesting about this is that the synopsis for this movie was not released with these clips. It was just a shit ton of these very creepy clips. And this continued when they released the teaser. They gave you nothing away but the basic premise, and they had clips of the kids actually running, this time no grain, but from the actual film.
Those kids walked out of those homes, no one pulled them out.
That's all they did. They didn't showcase the actors, they didn't showcase any crazy things from this movie, just vibes and a general premise. But they did go old school and left us with this. They took a page from the 2000s and they made a website to give you more information on this movie. But it wasn't a professionally made website. This website looks very shitty, like it was designed by a 4th grader taking a summer school class. And no shade here, I made a website that looked like that in 4th grade as well, but this website, unlike the one that I shittily made, was so smartly designed in terms of creating more mystery and drawing intrigue about this movie. Immediately once you open it up, it takes you to a Google Maps page where all the missing kids were last seen, letting people play around with it and have fun as they dived into what this movie is about. Sometimes studios forget to do this. It is supposed to be fun. Movies are fun. Have fun with your marketing. This website also had a news article about Barbarian, which is a fun little nod since it is the director's past movie, but they also added other little things that just added to the mystery of this movie and fueled even more questions. Like, why is there a hot dog recipe on this site? What is going on with this? Does this have anything to do with this movie, or is it just a good hot dog recipe? Either way, I don't know, but it's a great way to think outside the box and make things interesting, and it allows audiences to dive in deeper before the movie actually comes out. And then they upped the mystery of this movie by releasing over 2 hours of security cam footage, very similar to the clips that they released when they started this campaign. Immediately, people started looking into this 2-hour video, looking for clues. In the comments, people are talking about all the clues that they found, and then they begin to wonder what this movie is actually about. Weapons made an interactive experience that their audience could experience together, and not tell people what the plot is or what it's going to be, but instead they added intrigue and they created their own little community. Warner Brothers definitely took a page out of the early 2000s marketing here, where they were just making a shit ton of websites like no tomorrow because websites were so cool back in the day, and they allowed people to dig into this movie for themselves if they wanted to. I saw a ton of coverage of this comparing it to Cloverfield, because they did something kind of similar back in the day. And back then, it wasn't that crazy, but in 2025, I think it is. A website should not be generating this much love. I don't think any studio is really saying, hey, let's make a shitty website and release over 2 hours of footage online to get people talking. But guess what? That works. As much as people say movies are dying or theaters are dying, people like to dive into mystery and discover things about a movie together as a community. They created their own little community from this video and from this website, with people diving into 2 hours worth of footage to find anything about this movie. And what they found didn't really give anything away either. It just drove more questions, and that continued as they released both trailers. Trailers usually give a lot away, right? Sometimes way too much. Remember when Companion spoiled that Sophie Thatcher's character was a robot when that's not actually revealed in the movie until the end of Act 1? Or how when Sinners spoiled that one of Michael B. Jordan's characters turns into a vampire? All of which is actually Warner Brothers, which is quite ironic since Weapons is also Warner Brothers, but the Weapons trailer did nothing in terms of giving away plot points or anything like that about this movie. Both of these trailers just repeated the simple plot hook of this movie, where it's about kids who disappeared one night and how the town is upset about it. That's it. In both trailers, that is all they do. Except in the second one, where they had a ton of creepy shots of just shit happening, but once again, nothing was answered about this movie. They only gave away vibes. No one knows anything about this movie other than the basic premise, and that is what every single movie studio should strive for. Most studios won't do this because it's an inherent risk, right? If people don't know what your movie is, they may not go see it. But Weapons is giving them what it's about and then giving them more questions than answers, not only driving their interest in it, but also allowing them to develop a community wondering about this movie. And yeah, you can't do this with every single movie. I'm not saying every single movie should do this. Like, you can't do this with a rom-com, right? Not that those get made anyways, but you can't really do that with certain kinds of movies or like with big blockbuster movies or anything like that. The risk is simply too high. Weapons is a low-budget movie, and if this fails, it's not that big of a deal. And this has worked before with this director. With Barbarian, they gave nothing away. They even had a bigger star in it like Justin Long, and he was barely used in marketing at all. But even though you can't necessarily do this on every single movie, you can still learn from this. Weapons' marketing campaign just gave off vibes and intrigued people. That's all you really need to do. You don't need to overly explain things, you don't need to give away massive plot points, or if your movie has cameos in it, you don't need to spoil them. Looking at you, Marvel. Yes, this is a risk, but it also has a really great reward with word-of-mouth marketing. You cannot buy or manufacture that kind of marketing. Some companies have tried, and it largely fails. With people being skeptical of movies and giving their time away to these movies, with Rotten Tomatoes not being that reliable with both critic scores and audience scores, the best possible marketing is just the people in your community talking about this movie naturally, either online or in person. This worked immensely well with Barbarian, and it had tremendous legs at the box office because people just kept talking about it. Weapons also found multiple different ways to keep people engaged. A website and a 2-hour video kept people talking about this movie. You don't need to do that with every single movie, but you should create something that people engage with. I am so tired of seeing the same old marketing campaign where they're just reheating someone else's nachos. Does it spread awareness? Sure, but does it make your movie stand out? Does it make people talk about your movie? Does it make people intrigued about your movie and want to go see that? In my opinion, that's what studios should strive for. They're too focused on just awareness of movies, and they aren't focused on getting people to actually be intrigued with it and want to go see it, and that is what they should learn from Weapons. If this works out, we could get back to good marketing again. Not just spelling things out, having fun trying to get people to go see these movies. Weapons put out a brilliant campaign that drew intrigue and mystery, got random people online to engage with each other, trying to figure out what this movie is about and getting them excited about it, and I truly hope it does pay off for this movie. But we'll see if it pays off when Weapons comes out to theaters on August 8th, and it will be having an IMAX run. Don't forget to get your tickets, and if you already have them, let me know. Drop a comment below as well if you caught anything crazy in the Weapons marketing campaign that I may have left out. And please don't forget to like this video as well, as it does help push it out and find more people like yourself. Once again, please subscribe if you haven't already. If you do, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.